The mysterious, the macabre, the out of this world. The following are real people. They have real stories, and they've had real encounters. Here tonight on Newsworthy, 2 words and 2 question marks.
He's alive! Have you checked the children? Get out!
We're here with Jack. Jack has an amazing story that he's about to tell. Jack's from Northeast Ohio, and we can't wait to talk to Jack. So, Jack, tell us what your story is, my man.
Well, the story would be better from Northwest Ohio.
Oh, Northwest Ohio. Sorry, my bad.
Well, back in '94, I was still skeptical about these stories of this thing in the woods. You know, being an avid outdoorsman, involved with the state division of wildlife, and an avid martial artist, boxer, fought full contact 28 times. So I'm not really too afraid of anything.
Right.
But in '94, that's when my attitude changed about Bigfoot.
Okay.
We had rented a facility down in southern Ohio, adjacent to Wayne National Forest. It was a private property, and my friend Steve and my cousin Gary, who's a Pentecostal preacher, came along for the bow hunter's trip of a lifetime. We're staying in cabins in a remote area on private property, and my cousin Gary has killed multiple Pope and Young bucks. Well, we're looking forward to a good hunting trip. As we pull into the private facility, the gentleman who rented us the cabin basically approached us and said, "I'm sorry, but your cabins, the guys who were there stayed over, so your cabin's not available until tomorrow. But I put this tent up, and if you'll accommodate me, we'll accommodate you this is a free trip."
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
So my buddy Steve, he goes over and starts talking to these people in this other cabin, and they're all black Jeeps, 4 black Jeeps, white and black license plates that says U.S. government.
Oh, wow.
This is in and around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and basically when it's all said and done, Steve befriends the youngest of these group of investigators, and I assumed they're down there looking at mineral rights or something of that nature, oil, natural gas, and all of a sudden Steve starts, "Jack, you need to get over here. You better get over here now." And Steve's not the toughest guy in the whole world, but his countenance changed drastically. And the guy had popped open the back of the 4th Jeep. And in that 4th Jeep, U.S. government plates, there were 3 casts of Bigfoot prints.
Holy crap.
Specimen packages of hair and droppings. On top to the right, which caught my eye, was a stop sign where whatever this thing was approached by a vehicle, startled it, it reached up and popped this stop sign and had a small bend in it because of its contact. And I went, what? Now I've got evidence for the first time in my life staring me in the face. So I went from, maybe this is the real deal, you know, and then all of a sudden the younger of this group of individuals caught grief from the older guys. Wasn't really supposed to be divulging this information.
Right.
So the back of the Jeep got shut. We basically scuttled over to our tent, and I started getting the campfire ready. Well, as a joke, I just made that fire a little bit bigger and bigger, and I kept telling the preacher guy, Gary, he said, "Hey, I understand these things don't like fire. We're going to have a fire." But being an avid coffee drinker, my motivation was to get that coffee pot running. Darkness settles in. As the darkness settled in, the air was colder than the ground, so needless to say, a certain steam. And we're down in this, for lack of better words, holler.
Right. Hey, I'm from Kentucky. We have lots of hollers.
And I'm sitting on the right side of this picnic table, waiting for my coffee, and Steve is meandering around to one side, and Gary's getting stuff in the tent, getting ready for the next morning's hunt. And I'm telling you what, I heard a noise that this thing was had to be 50 yards. But this combination of the heavy air and the acoustics of where we were at, literally the hair stood up on the back of my head.
What did it sound like?
Well, and at noon I'm going to do this over here, but
Oh, wow.
I'll give you a preview.
Okay.
It started off with two, woo, woo, and then it turned into a. I look back. At that time, there was a lot of controversies about hunters getting shot off deer stands, so the owner said, carry your pistol. I had no intention of carrying a pistol after all the years of fighting I've been involved with, but I'm running after my pistol. And Steve, he's trying to load his, and bullets are falling all over the place. And I said, as a hunter education instructor, I said, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare, because he's not in control.
Right, right.
I load mine up, strap it on, and as I'm walking back towards the tent, that Pentecostal preacher's standing on top of that picnic table, praying fervently. He is trying to get 3 feet closer to God. And all of a sudden, my friend who's to the left of me, we come up to the tent, and I'm kind of snickering at Gary, and something comes around the back of this huge tent, and something comes running. Now, mind you, we're in pretty much darkness at this point. And I raise my gun. I got my gun pulled, and I'm looking for an 8-foot something. Nothing's there. And I'm going, what? Identify your target, identify your target. And I dropped, it was a coon dog that was running from the woods away from whatever was in there.
Right.
And I thought, oh my goodness. And I look back, now Gary and Steve are on the picnic table. And this is the first time the Catholic religion and the Pentecostals united on a common issue. They're literally freaking.
That's amazing.
And the sound was so deafening. I go to a lot of reenactments. It would be very similar to when a cannon goes off and you hear that, you feel that vibrato in your chest.
Right.
And as many times as I climbed in and out of the ring, and as many times as I have fought, I'm telling you, it hit me in a spot that I've never been before.
I know that feeling.
In 1994, October of 94, it had been October in the end of the month, that was the day Jack became a believer. And nobody will ever tell me they don't exist.
I agree.
I have not seen one, but I will guarantee you, and I'll bet my very soul, that I heard one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's our story.
Man, I appreciate you coming on, Jack. That was awesome. Very, very much. That was a great story. And Jerry, if you can't see the light,
Be the light.